Nervousness was like, yeah, you don't know I'm here.
I thought John was giving another joke.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I blend in well. All right, so as I mentioned, I am a poet. A lot of my poems are derived from my actual life, so I'm giving my trigger warning now. Some of it is sad, some of it is happy, some of it is crazy, some of it is racial. But I hope you stick through it all, okay? Talking about being from my life, I'm gonna tell you a story before I tell the first poem. So unfortunately, I work the world's worst job, which is working in a call center. And this lady calls in, and her name is spelled M-E-A-E-G-O-I-N. And her fucking name was Megan. And there's no reason for it to be that long. So, of course, I wrote a poem about her. The woman with more letters than necessary to spell her name says, my name is weird. Ask if it means anything, as if owning it is not enough. Well, respectfully, Miss Scattered Scrabble Box, but my name is not a noun. It is not a puzzle asking you to buy a vowel. Lord knows you have enough to spare. Sometimes it is a caution sign, a red light you ran through to pretend you were somehow better than me, with your silent letters and silent privilege, while my name felt too sharp on your tongue, rough around the edges, a noun, being a person, place, or thing, and you stomped on the person as if I am something to gawk at or study. So Shockie is no longer a noun. It is a battle cry, a rejection, a fuck you to who believe it, or I should not exist. And at the very least, it is mine. So my second piece is called Imposter Syndrome. And I swear I did not meet Paige before today. I don't know how that happened. My name is Shockie G. I'm part poet, part self-doubt, but it looks a lot like imposter syndrome when you hold it up to the light. The truth is, I've never felt like I belong anywhere. My sister is 14 years older than me, so I didn't need my mom to tell me I was a mistake. I mean, the way I held onto her womb until they had to cut me out is proof I've been nervous entering rooms my whole life. But poetry has a way of tugging at heartstrings, dragging you out of dark places, so I like to believe I am a poem my mother wrote. All metaphor and line breaks or broken lines, no, I'm not broken. I'm just not all the way put together. And if it's not broke, you can't fix it, but you can rewrite a poem, rearrange its stanzas long after the author is gone. You see, I used to get blackout drunk and redact lines until the message was blurry. But now I've been scribbling messages in the margins that sound like affirmations. My favorite theory about poems is that they never really end. And as many times as I've tried to turn myself haiku, I got syllables shaped like friends that don't stop inserting themselves. What I mean is, some people are better at keeping me alive than I am. Every time you say my name, you recite a poem my mother never got a chance to finish. And every I love you is an entrance into a poetry slam, and that makes me a 10 at best. Every night, I still soak into a soliloquy praying God doesn't drop this poem the next time he reads it. And I ask, publish me across the skyline of memories. And no, I wasn't born, I was written. So my family shows up a lot in my work, not necessarily in my life, but in my work. And so this is a poem about that. Recently, I learned that teeth are the only part of our bodies that cannot heal itself. And I hate that, because my family is a set of teeth. We've been building dental records instead of family trees. It's funny, my mother was a wisdom tooth. She never quite fit in. I mean, the pain I felt when she took up space, I never realized she was only trying to grow. until God plucked her from the gums of my family's smile, leaving empty space, my family bracing onto a memory to hold itself together. At night, I feel us grinding against each other, swallowing blood that tastes a lot like pride, as if apologies would fall out if we opened our mouths. Everything leaves a stain on our ivory relationship. I try to brush it off, but it seems if you try to ignore it, it will only get worse. Grief is a cavity we can't seem to get rid of. No cap. When I was younger, I tied a rope around a doorknob and tried to remove myself. I was convinced that maybe God is really the tooth fairy, surrounds himself with all the lost teeth, calls it heaven. It's crazy. When your bloodline is a swollen gum line, you can't do much but watch it go down the drain. I haven't spoken to my sister in years, and I'm afraid if teeth don't heal, we will forever be two molars on opposite sides of a mouth, afraid to say I love you, wearing ourselves away. You see, this family has never been a perfect set of teeth. We've just been good at shining like veneers on the outside, while dull and rotting underneath. We've been making dental records instead of family trees, so there's something to identify us with after we're gone. But the problem is, we haven't been healing while we're still here. You would think I was singing or something up here, I don't know. Do we have any millennials in the room? Woo! One. Awesome. This poem is for you and you only.
High five.
I am a millennial. I'm an 80s baby, but a 90s kid, which means if you want to start a fight, ask me Brandy or Monica, or Brittany or Christina. And I will give you a 10-page front and back dissertation on why it is Mariah Carey. It is always Mariah Carey. Don't ask me about NSYNC or Backstreet Boys because the answer is Drew Hill. And that's a lie, it's actually Boys to Men. You see, Cisco can't hold a candle to Wanye, but I digress. Millennials, we were latchkey kids and no child left behind. We were home before the streetlights and it's 10 o'clock p.m. Do you know where your children are? I'm talking Blackberries and sidekicks, texts at 10 cents a piece, and free calls after 9 p.m. We were Saturday morning cartoons and plain Cheerios with so much sugar, it didn't dissolve. We ain't no holla back girls, and we definitely don't want no scrubs. Millennials, we were told to aim for the sky, but strapped down with student debt. We watched the towers fall and housing prices climb. We were drafted into the war on drugs and terror, and somehow lost both. No veteran benefits, just casualties to weapons of mass deception, working minimum wage jobs for maximum hours, and called entitled for wanting better. We were handed trauma like an inheritance, but we used our broken to shred generational curses. Our families gave birth to hatches. We will tear everything down. We say things like adulting as what we do rather than what we are, because what we are is a generation of children never given the chance to grow up, just get old. It's millennials, and it's okay, because we're doing the best with what we were handed, just like every other generation in here. The only thing is, us millennials make it look good. So I moved to Pittsburgh in 2016. I absolutely love Pittsburgh. Woo! Yes. One other person loves Pittsburgh. Probably won't claim this poem. It's my only right with Pittsburgh. My city has a slogan. It says, Pittsburgh is stronger than hate. And I can't help but think, if it were true, we probably wouldn't need it. But it looks nice. Graffitied over the blood at the Tree of Life massacre, sprinkled between racist comments on WPXI's Juneteenth post, or as the backdrop of the underpass on the north side, where unhoused people build up tents and break down their pride. My city says it's stronger than hate. It knows that because it arm wrestles it on the weekend while drinking ice-cold beers on the south side, takes his families to church on Sunday. The church around the corner from me says, Jesus is the only thing stronger than hate. And I can't tell if it's trying to mock my city or canonize it. We sing black and yellow from black and blue bodies. If you listen close enough, it does sound like a hymnal. See, my city loves black men when they play on its sports teams, but it hates its black mayor. Coach Tomlin says he doesn't support the woke agenda, and he has his contract extended 2 years. My city is stronger than hate, the way they wish fire hoses were stronger than civil rights, and I know. I'm just supposed to hear the slogan, buy the product. It was so cute dressed up in rainbows for pride. I almost forgot how gay men keep ending up in the river. How every year they push the pride celebration farther from the spotlight. My city, it hates, just like every other city, even like that one city, if the shooter had better aim, don't come for me. I'm not stronger. See, hate bullies me and takes my lunch money, but my city has the slogan, and it lays it over fresh wounds like a Band-Aid. And I can't help but think, if it were true, we probably wouldn't need it. A little bit lighter here. My friends think I'm crazy, because I think I could fight a panda and win.
Yeah.
Hear me out. See, I've been fighting the blurred spaces between black and white my whole life, barely able to bear the heavy weight until I became a heavyweight, and now I'm ready to bare knuckles for some type of justice. I know freedom comes with a fight. 2 black eyes, broken bones, and bruises. I'm not violent. I just refuse to bear hug oppressors. My people are dying in chokeholds by grisly blue bloods, bearing it all for supremacy. The future is fuzzy, y'all. And I'd rather take my chances being bamboozled by a bamboo goblin metaphor than the alternative. With all the world has against me, I've been sparring everything in this concrete jungle since I learned how to swing, battling polar opposites in a cold world that don't bear in comparison. So I'm starting to think, yeah, I could probably beat a panda. Then I see an animal accustomed to eating scraps of no nutritional value and calling it a meal the way my people did. An animal always reminded it is a bear. See, just last week, Trump said in Chicago, home of the bears, that black children were inherently violent, another endangered species that can only be saved through institutionalization. Claimed these cities to be zoos that need keeping. So excuse me for thinking pandas and I have a lot in common. They see our sharp claws and fear for their lives, like we ain't just happy and frolicking and rolling around the city. But somehow they want us behind bars, barely alive. And it's crazy. I've been beating myself up so long, I'm starting to think if we're the same, I can definitely beat a panda. But if that's my brother, I shouldn't want to. And maybe that's the formula, finding the ways we are more alike than different, and only spreading love. Spread love, y'all. All right. Something a little bit lighter. I said that last time, right? Ode to the spent paycheck. My friends say, hey, it's Friday, and we about to be outside, but I make up some excuse like my stomach hurts. But the truth is, my paycheck is the one hungry, eyes bigger than its own stomach, then swallowed itself up in rent, bills, groceries, and if I'm lucky, some type of instant gratification. I swear each paycheck is another lover that reminds me of the last something I forgot to cherish. Damn, I wish we spent more time together. Like for once, I wish we could make love at night and still be there the next morning. I need a paycheck with the assets so fat you can see it from the front, or the last payday. I mean, I've been living paycheck to paycheck like I'm afraid of commitment. And some days, I worry I'll come home to everything on the curb. Like, go be with that other paycheck if it makes you happy. And I just want a paycheck to be my peace, to last, to stay even when I treat it wrong. But I take a paycheck for granted and ended up with none. So now I'm chasing a bag, because don't you always settle if you need to be grounded. Trying to skip some of these sad ones for a moment. I have a new book out that's called Exit Wounds, Bullets and Butterflies, and this is the titular piece from that book. Not talking about that. I also have my other book here, In Little Flowers. I have some copies with me if anybody wants to purchase that stuff. Cool. It's not all sad, I'm kidding. Modern day Cupid carries an AK-47. Bullets that burst into butterflies in the stomach, caterpillars cocooning in the crevices of capillaries. See, my love looks like a heart, beating itself up, bloody and bruised. This is not to say love should hurt. Just lately, I've been dying for a chance to be with you. The ecosystem of my gut biome flutters so hard it triggers my anxiety when you walk by. Is this a crush? Or a panic attack? Both give me sweaty palms and take my breath away. Maybe it's the asthma, but I think it's your beauty. But when these hands shake, I hope you pick up on the vibes. You gotta be making payments to Cupid for a hitman. Like, yo, her, right there, because I'm too afraid to shoot my shot. But I'll ride shotgun through the city for you. I got an alibi in my pocket waiting for you to scribble your number across. If I'm guilty of anything, it is burying the values of relationships before they had the chance to bloom. Butterflies and bullets blossoming in this body like a bouquet. I hope you smell the roses. Hold me like your favorite flower. Pick apart my petals, questioning, she loves me not. Bitch, I do. And I've got the exit wounds to prove it. So please, pull me into the trauma unit that is your heart, and let me heal Cupid's wrath together. Do not leave me to bleed out on this stage, another casualty of love. Before we jump back into craziness, a fun one here. This is a poem where the word cheese replaces the word sex. I've never been a big cheese person, but sometimes good cheese will set you straight. It doesn't matter the kind, morning cheese, night cheese, 3 a.m. bent over the sink cheese. Cheese is so good that even people who shouldn't have cheese sneak cheese and then take a pill after. Cheese is weird though. If you go on a date and you tell them you don't want cheese, they still try to give you cheese. In fact, a lot of people will try to give you cheese and it's never the right kind. They want to look you in the eye and give you soft cheese. And what you really want is hard cheese. And then they will shame you like you act, I'm sorry, but when you ask for it, they will act like you like cheese too much and get scared. Some will even shame you for the kind of cheese you like because they've never had real cheese. I like the kind of cheese that gets all melty and hot. Fondue me, please. I like a woman with a real cheesy smile. The kind that makes you want to go make mac and cheese noises. And that one didn't really work. But still, cheese! I think the best cheese wakes you up out of your sleep. With consent, of course, otherwise it's weird. So is a poem about cheese. And somehow, I went from horny to hungry. This is my rewrite of the creation story. And so it says, God pulled rib from Adam, twisted blood and bone into companion. If I were Eve, Then I rejected my creation and fell in love with Lilith instead. Ate of her fruit, but not fruitful, did not multiply, and ain't I still a woman, independent of man and motherhood? And if this earth is mother, and God gave birth to it, but she calls herself God instead of goddess, isn't she mask presenting? And isn't she just like me? And ain't we women made in each other's image, both chaos and peace, depending on the prayer and the bent knee and the clutched hands of others questioning our existence? Don't we speak in sanctified scripture and prophecy? And what is woman, apart from God and man and binary, if not just humanity? And ain't this another story of rebellion? The apple that was never swallowed, but stuck in Adam's throat, as if he choked on this truth, that I am woman, despite his conception of the lie, despite his ability to define it, despite his want to control it. And don't I still love him, platonically, still plant seeds in his garden as if to say, here, eat. Traded his rib from my shoulder and said, here, rest. Balanced his masculine from my feminine and said, here, human. And God said, hell yeah. I got my pages mixed up, just like it. Got it, okay. Trigger warning for suicidal thoughts. I always thought the first time I stared down the barrel of a gun, I would be on both sides. But I forgot I wear this X on my chest every day for people who scream 88 while carrying a 12 gauge. All I wanted was directions, but I heard the gun cock before I reached the question, and some excuse of a man put me in his sights like a James Bond credit. Tell me, how fast you can go when your mind is racing, your heart is going a mile a minute, but your legs have gone numb. Just two concrete bricks destined to be a foundation. I wish I had the bravado of Emmett, the will to run of Harriet. But if anything, my body chose to channel Rosa and decide not to move. At least until I felt the tension of the trigger pull, cut through the night like hot metal. I will not die here. I'm not sure if I ran or flew, but my next memory was a mirage of red and blue, and the cop says, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And I thought, not fast enough to outrun history, but blessed to be tongue-tied instead of necktied. I begged, please, I just want to make it home. See, where I'm from, people like me gamble anytime they leave their house, drive up the road. These towns don't wait for the sun to go down for their hate to build up. They don't care about the placement of the Mason-Dixon. They don their Confederate flag and say, all jokes aside, fuck heritage. They just hate my kind, and they have no reason for it. And think, I thought I would be on both ends of the gun, but I could ever learn to hate myself that much. It's a true story. I don't know if anyone knows where Shingle House, PA is, which is on downtown. They don't even have cell coverage up there. I stopped for directions and got shot at. It's cool. It was fun. You should try it sometime. All right. I have one of my newest poems, and this one is very, very racial. I do apologize. I don't apologize, but you know, yeah. I'm actually making a movie out of this one, so look out for that. While I drink, can we give it up for all the performers that we had today? It takes a lot of courage to get in front of the mic, especially when, you know, English is your second language, or you're pouring your heart out in a song that you wrote yourself, and you don't know how people are going to receive it. So I was very inspired by today, so thank you guys. In the early stages of dementia, some individuals have confusion and sleeplessness in the late evening hours. This is referred to as sundowning. Not to be confused with the sundown town, where the black folks were advised to leave before the late evening hours, lest they be met with violence. Sundowners began to forget the little things. Where are my keys? What day is it? Who are you? But don't forget that niggas ain't supposed to be there at night. Mima can't hold on to her bowels, but holds on to her hatred like a Bible, like the toe tag she's so destined to wear. That boy in the corner there, he keep whistling at me. He turned his head. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Cheers. She threw the truth into Tallahatchie, but the body had only one resurfaced. Mima sees the ghost of racist past. That boy there, his sisters had the nicest dresses, so I made sure they had a funeral to wear them to. When I die, bury me in the most beautiful gown, casket sharp enough to break the silence. Let my repast be a picnic, like the old times. I like my dark meat with a little char. Don't worry, Mima is sundowning again. She can't sleep because she sees all the people she wronged when she closes her eyes, and suddenly, the nursing home becomes a sundown town where the sundowners can't remember their own kids, but won't forget the babies cut from hanging bodies before their eyes. Eyes said, "Don't you let that lady touch me. I told you I need a white doctor. Don't need all that DEI running around." Mima's been DIE. Afraid the staff will seek revenge for their ancestors. It's funny how there's always a deathbed confession, but no apology. It's as if the racists come out at night, daydreaming of days past, and somewhere around 6 p.m., this poem begins sundowning, remembering all the things America wants us to forget, like a sundown country who brought black folk here to work in the summer sun, but don't expect them to be there when the sun goes down, and somehow I'm supposed to have a sunny disposition. My own form of dementia, when your Mima forgets my name and calls me nigger instead, waging war, and these wages don't pay me enough to keep the sun from setting. So whether the sundown is a town or a person, just know, I held on as long as I could, but I refused to let the sun beat me home. Last piece, and I will get out your hair. I usually run people off a little bit earlier than that. I'm glad I said. I will never do that. I'm normally like, if I have something, I bring my iPad, and I didn't think there was going to be enough space. But anyway, this poem is called Petty Poet. I couldn't have your heart, so instead, I'm taking all the batteries out of your remotes, all the bricks from your chargers, all your hair ties and bobby pins. You're gonna miss something if it ain't me. I replaced all your TP with single ply. I will not be the only one dealing with shit. Like I left all the flat sheets and kept the fitted ones, so you and your bed got nothing to hold you at night. I took all the cushion out of your left shoes, so it feels like your soles ain't right. I stopped in the kitchen and turned the fridge to the highest point, so you can see what a cold heart feels like. I stole your toothbrush, so I can still be stuck in your teeth if you dare talk to someone else. I took one of every sock you own. I'm hoping you learn that even if two things don't go together, you can make it work. I sprayed all your pillows and your plants with my cologne. I swapped all your playlists with mine. I took the enter key off your keyboard and left the space, since you said that's all you needed. And I know you can get it all back. So maybe I am learning how it feels to be replaceable. Thank you very much. I promise I'm not that petty. I just get arrested instead. I have no rap sheet there. But again, I do have copies of my book in lieu of flowers with me. $20 if anybody wants one, just come and find me. Otherwise, thank you, John, and the Pittsburgh DNA for having me. Appreciate it.